Oh, it's me. It is. It's actually me. Let me do that. Excellent. Right, it's that moment where I hope I've gone live. So let's see. Still waiting. Still waiting, not very patiently. Anybody there want to speak to anybody here? I seem to have a bazillion and one WhatsApp messages, but what I don't yet know is if I've gone live. It's not telling me I've gone live. Have I gone live? I'm going to assume I've gone live. Although I'm going to just check, because why should I assume anything? Getting nothing. I normally know by now. Anyway, I'm going to assume that I am and hope that someone will join me shortly. I seem to be trying every bit of software. Hello, Suzanne. Phew, I'm live. I couldn't get the live thing to come up. I say the live thing. That really wasn't terribly descriptive, was it? I get a notification via email if I'm live, and I wasn't getting it. And I'm just trying to grab the last little bits that I need. So how are you? Hello, Steffi. So Suzanne, I'm guessing you are in the US because you are saying good morning and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that is my guess, which is great. Oh, I've just realised what I've done. I've got the wrong sort of card base. Bear with me. Why did anything ever go according to plan? No, I'm going to have to cut one, that's fine. So I've actually moved things around, which is great, apart from the fact I'm just not quite used to it yet. So I now have my inks over here and my cardstock pre-cut behind me. Hello, B. So it's fine, apart from the fact I keep forgetting which way I'm heading, because I've only just changed. And it's been a slightly fraught day. Hello, Inika, from a sunny and warm southern France. I'm very pleased it's sunny and warm with you, because it isn't here. It's warm, but it isn't sunny. It's very grey here today. So yes, I've had a slightly challenging day so far. So for those of you who watch me regularly, waking up in Washington, that makes sense. I'm guessing that's Washington State. So yes, if you follow me regularly, you may have gathered that my husband, bless him, has got a very painful leg at the moment, which we're not quite sure where the pain's coming from. It's a kind of shooting pain. So he's had a hip X-ray earlier this week, and they can't see anything there. He's had and he's on quite a high dose of painkillers, which don't seem to be touching it. And when I woke up this morning at about 5:30, because he was awake, he announced that we were going to go to... It's been sunny in Essex. Yes, it was sunny here earlier, but it isn't anymore. Anyway, he announced that we were going to go to A&E, which we did. So he's now had a knee X-ray, and that's, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but we now know kind of where we're heading. But it does mean that I've been into Oxford and back twice today, because I dropped him off at A&E, came back, and then had to go and pick him up. So life is a little fraught. So I'm going to do one card today, and I'm going to be talking about the Designer Series paper sale. Hello, Claire. Because at midnight last night, well, actually 11 o'clock p.m. UK time, we started a Designer Series paper sale, which means that except the artistic impressions, or whatever that's called, expressions, the artistic expressions. Anyway, the specialty paper and the colour family papers, all of the designer series paper in the annual catalogue is 15% off. Hope he feels better soon. Yes, I hope he feels better soon as well. Lorna, you're here. Yay! Yeah, I have to say, I have a bad back. I spend my life in a certain degree of discomfort. I wouldn't say it was pain, but a certain degree of discomfort. So my level of sympathy is perhaps not as great as it would otherwise be. Although he is beginning to realise that a bad back is actually quite debilitating, because it's not actually your back that's the issue, it's where the pain refers to. As I say, we don't yet know what the cause of his problem is, but he's not ill, he's just not feeling very good, and he's a man. Let's just leave it at that. He's a man. I only need to be told that he doesn't want too much to eat twice. The third time, maybe not. Anyway, let me not be horrible. Let me not be horrible. So I am going to flip the camera down. I will remind you of the paper sale and what's in it, and then we're going to make a card. So bear with me. Flipping the camera down when you've just covered up your keyboard, not the best idea, because I need my keyboard in order to do that. So let's go picture in picture. There's quite a lag today. Oh, while I remember, if you enjoy my videos, do please give them a thumbs up. And if you don't already subscribe, please do consider doing so, which you can do by clicking in the little icon in the bottom right hand corner. So, Designer Series paper sale from the 1st of July to the 2nd of August. Hi, Nikki. All the way from Utah. I'm guessing it's quite hot in Utah. He's a man, enough said. Absolutely, Steffi. Yep, he's a man. So there are 9 Designer Series papers that are in the sale. They are not in, I've not got them in the order in which they are here, but they are Beauty of the Earth, which is this wonderful paper that is all kind of tree and all things earthy. And then we've got these lovely patterns on the reverse. So I'm guessing actually that that's a B-side, and that that might be a B-side. I don't know. Anyway, lots of lovely patterns. Love that. And while I remember, if I can find it, this one, the pattern is on 2 edges, and there's the kind of unpatterned bit in the middle. And if you cut it correctly, you can get the card, basically a card front done for you. And you can get 6 out of each sheet. So that's the Beauty of the Earth. Then this is the one I'm actually going to be using today, which is In the Wild, which I have to say I'm not wild about In the Wild. I like it, but it's not one that I love, love, love. I think it's the stamp set that I'm not so in love with, but I don't dislike the papers. Very good for masculine cards, and as I say, it's the one I'm going to use today. And I'm going to show you that you don't need a whole image. You just need to think about what you do. So we've got tigers, we've got cheetahs, and lots of sort of African animal type backgrounds. So that's that one. That's In the Wild. Bloom Where You're Planted, which is gorgeous, and I hadn't realised how gorgeous it was. And literally about 5 minutes ago, an order that I had placed arrived, which has the whole bundle, because it's gorgeous. So I've now got the stamp set, the dies, and the lattice paper. So I've cut all of these so that they are basically card fronts. Obviously some are cut in one direction, some in the other, but this one I think is really good for, again, masculine cards. And I've done some cards which I've got a video coming out next week showing how to make cards just using the paper. I'm kind of going to be on a bit of a mission this month with the sale. I love the folder on the shelf with the scrapbook papers, lots and various. I bet we've all got folders like that. Haha, yes, absolutely. Now, this is the In Good Taste paper, which I'm minus a design. But hey, there are lots. So there are 12 designs, and there's 2 sheets of each. It's a big pack. This is reduced from £20 to 17. Everything, all the others are reduced from 10.75 to that lovely round figure of £9.14. Obviously, I'm talking UK values. If you're in Europe, that's 11.90 euros, down from 14 for most of them. So these are, they're great for backgrounds. I mean, I use them for photo backgrounds, but they're great for other backgrounds as well. Hand penned. And just a little hint that coming soon in Celebration, which starts in August, on the 3rd of August, there will be something that will go very nicely with this. Just after midnight in Melbourne, Ash Barty has just won her Wimbledon match. Oh, well done. Good. Yeah, Andy Murray won his yesterday, but it did take him 5 sets. So, yes, there is some Celebration stuff coming that is going to be very good to go with the hand penned. This is the Daisy paper, and that's right. So this, not Daisy, Pansy paper. So this is, what do we call it? Pansy petals. So we have got some backgrounds. We've got full-blown pansies, as in pansy flowers, gingham, and then more gingham, actual plants, all over pansy background, and a smaller version of the pansy plants. Inika said nice, I think. Anyways, this is great for backgrounds as well as for pansies. So if you like the background, what I would call the B side, and you're not so fussed about the A side, get it for the B side. It's discounted. And what I suggest is that if there's a paper you're a bit not sure of, now's the moment to give it a go, because it's discounted. So this is one that I wasn't sure about. I think it's quite busy, the A sides. The B sides aren't so bad. But actually, if you only use a little bit of the busy side, it's fine. Because there is lots of background, monochrome papers. So that's that. Then the peach paper, which of course is the one that I'm using for my class that will be going out later this month. So that's all been ordered for those of you who have ordered the class. But this is gorgeous, and again we've got nice busy florals and peaches and some good backgrounds. And as ever with my class, you can fussy cut rather than using the stamp set. So you don't need the stamps and dies, you can just fussy cut. Inika's saying, don't know what happened there. Those papers are must-haves. Aren't they just? I mean, they are just gorgeous. And they're discounted. And then this is the Christmas one. Now, I'm going to be doing a Christmas card club, as in classes leading up to Christmas for making Christmas cards. And it's going to be alongside my regular class, but it's going to be a lower price point. And it's going to mean that you get to see some of the different Christmas papers. So this is the one that's in the annual catalogue, which, surprise, surprise, will be the one that I start with. But they are very, a lot of them are very generic. You don't have to think Christmas. So that one is just a chevron, just a stripe, just a stripe. This is stars and snowflakes, so you could say winter. This is holly and holly berries, so then there's this one, which I can never remember the stamp set it goes with. But anyway, we have a stamp set that's very similar. And again, on this side, they're fairly generic. There is a nod towards Christmas, but it's not in-your-face Christmas. What is the Christmas paper called? It's called Tidings of Christmas, and it's in the annual catalogue. And there is a stamp set that goes with it, which is that. So this is the Christmas tidings, so tidings and trimmings. And then the dies are, I've literally just taken these out of my brown box. 9.5 kilos. Just saying. And these are the dies. So we've got these lovely stars and stockings and sprigs. So this is going to be great for a class because I can do lots of die cutting, and you don't necessarily need a new stamp set. If you've already got Christmas sentiments, that's kind of the way I'm going to be working, that you can add a stamp set, but you can do lots of things without adding the stamp set. So we are using a very different palette for me today. So we're going in the wild. So we're using Merry Mallow as our card base. I've got a Merry Mallow matte. I've got some white for the liner, because obviously we're going to need a liner. I'm going to use this as my background paper. And I've got some crushed curry, no Cajun craze, although crushed curry is in it, as another matte. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this as my kind of full matte. Then I'm going to cut my Merry Mallow down, so it's going to go Cajun craze, Merry Mallow, background, and then the animals. So I'm going to start with the animals because it's fussy cutting time, and I thought it would be a good place to start, just so that those of you who are a little fussy cut shy can see that it's not difficult. Now, I've deliberately chosen a cheetah who has no tail and a full-size cheetah, or a full cheetah, because the way that your paper comes, whether you cut it down or not, you're going to end up with part animals, because you just are. Now that one might be a bit tricky, but this one I would use quite happily. I could put him on the edge of the card, but I could also put him behind something. So, and this again I could use, this I could use, I could probably use him. So you just, all I'm saying is that don't think that you can't use the images on the paper just because they're at the edge. The other thing I just want to show you, if I can find it. So this suite is on page 44 to 45. So the dies cut the tiger images. So if you've got the dies, you can actually die cut the images out of the paper, if you're not into fussy cutting, and you can either add a tiger stripe or you can do the cheetah / leopard. So it's what's the word I'm looking for? Dual use. That'll do. It's not the word I was looking for, but it'll do. Right, so fussy cutting. I would always say, once you're comfortable with a pair of scissors, those are the scissors you should always use, because you will get comfortable, and even to the extent that I always use the same pair of snips, and I always use them the same way up. So when I was at fashion college, we all had to buy a pair of pattern cutting scissors, which are gorgeous, I have to say. I wondered if they were... No, they're not easily to hand. They were absolutely gorgeous. They were then quite a lot of money, because it was quite a while ago that I went to fashion college. I was in my early 20s, which is quite a long time ago. I don't want to say how many years ago it was, but it was quite a few. And they were £10, which then was quite a lot of money. When you consider that snips are £9 something, I think. I made a birthday card with the In the Wild DSPs and dies for your grandson. Wonderful. Yeah, I mean, it's great for kids, it's great for men, it's great for girls. You know, it is. If you know someone who is into Africa or wild animals, this is perfect. As I say, it doesn't completely float my boat, but that's not to say I wouldn't use it. Now, I am going a little bit further round on this because he's got a whisker, and I kind of like the whisker. But we were told that when we got our lovely scissors, all £10 of them, that we had to only ever use them one way up, which was fine actually, because they were those scissors that are shaped, so you've got a bigger hole at the bottom than at the top, I think, from memory. And also that we had to mark them because we were all getting the same scissors. It would be very easy to get them muddled up, because they will get used to how you use them. So you can see I use mine quite on their side, So that's how my scissors have got used to me using them. So yeah, it's a bit like borrowing somebody else's ink pen, you know, the old-fashioned ones that some of us used when we were at school that had nibs that broke every now and again. I'm not saying quill or ink pen and pot, but you know, those ones with cartridges where the cartridge used to burst in your pocket and stain your uniform. Those ones. Or they wouldn't burst, they'd leak. Dreadful things they were. Anyway, so yes, find yourself a pair of scissors that you are comfortable with and just use those. But the real key is to move the paper, not the scissors, because that's all you need to do is just move the paper around. And it then means you're only really moving one hand. Otherwise you're going to be tempted to move both, and it's much easier. So I'm actually holding this quite tightly, and then my scissors are just opening and closing. So yeah, and there we are. And I have this dangle. I mean, I was given the dangle, so I'm using this as my marker. A, it's mine, and B, I know that it goes at the bottom, and I now use it to hold on to my scissors. So I get a kind of tension with it. But yes, so find a pair of scissors that you are comfortable using and just practice, and then practice a bit more. But it's really not that tricky. So some bits you can be really quite quick with, and when it gets to a corner it's quite useful just to slow down a bit, and you can go as near or as far away as you want. If you're not very good at staying the same distance from the coloured bit all the way round, draw a pencil mark around it and just cut around the pencil mark, and then you can rub the pencil mark out. It's, you know, but it is just one of those things that gets easier with practice. I try, Barbara. I do 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday and 11 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, on the basis that hopefully I will be able to hit as many people during what one might call waking hours as possible. I mean, bearing in mind that my priority, surprise, surprise, as a business demo, is people in the UK, or UK and Europe, because although I only sell in the UK, I can recruit across Europe. I could sell in Europe, but then I get into all sorts of horrible tax issues, and I have enough fun with the UK tax system without introducing another 4. So thank you, but no thank you. But I can recruit across Europe, so that has to be my priority. But I do accept that there are those of you across the world who might wish to follow along. I have to say I do find it slightly weird. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy, but I do find it slightly weird. I was at the Orlando 30th anniversary on stage, you know, when we used to be able to do things like travel and meet people in person and in crowds of 500 and more. And the number of people who were there who came up to me and said hello because they'd seen me on YouTube was quite humbling. I hadn't realised, but anyway, there we go. And that was before I started doing lives. That was when I just did recorded, which I am doing more recorded because I've dropped my Saturday morning live because, you know, I need to have a life. For some strange reason my husband likes to see me at the weekends. I can't think why, but there we go. When I'm going to be 5 this month, I will have been a demonstrator for 5 years at the end of the month. Right, so that's the slow bit of what we're doing. So this bit I can get rid of. That was just for a kind of show and tell. So I'm going to use this paper. Maybe. I'm deciding it might be a bit busy. I'm going to use this side, I think. The other side's a bit busy, so let's have another think. Actually, that might be quite nice. Ooh, I might go for the leopards on the, or the cheetahs on the cheetahs. Or what about on the flowers? No, I'm going to go for cheetahs on cheetahs. Change of plan. And actually that would look nicer with the colours. So I am going to do some trimming of some of my bits of paper and card. So I want Cajun Craze next to the Merry Merlot at the back, because otherwise there's no point in having it. So that's going to stay at my, what I would call my normal size. Hello, Mary. And YouTube's because your card measurements are the same as ours. Well, yes. As in, you mean you use A4? Yes. Yes, absolutely. I have to do a conversion for North America, and it doesn't always work. I mean, I'm quite happy to do it, but it doesn't always work. So this one I'm going to cut down. So I'm going to cut 1/8 of an inch off. So I am, and I will be putting metric on my website, but I use the same measurements. I mean, you know, come on. When did I ever reinvent anything? So this is 5 5/8. My standard is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, which is this. So this is 5 1/2 by 3 3/4, and that's going to give me a nice little border there. And then I'm going to cut my, I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not so sure, this pattern paper at 3 5/8 by 5 3/8. So that's then going to sit nicely on top of there. Now, I have a thing about having things sitting in mid-air. So for me, that is sitting in mid-air. You don't have to try and work out different measurements. Absolutely. So I am going to, so what I'm going to do is see, is that, who says she hasn't got a tail? Because she's got a tail, you just can't see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down, oh, actually I might bring that one down. I'm going to bring down the Evening Evergreen open weave and use that. So I need that much. Now I have to say, because I use these snips for paper, they're pretty rubbish for ribbon. Paper dulls scissors. So yeah, just be aware that if you have a nice pair of scissors for using on oh, actually I'm going to do something slightly different. Whoops. I'm going to put that there. I was just changing my mind about something, so what I'm going to do is stick that on there. Right, so what I was saying was, yes, if you find a nice pair of scissors that work for fussy cutting and cutting paper, they may not be the ones you want to use on ribbon, because they may be fairly dull, as in not sharp. So I'm going to pop that on there. It is the minutest little border, but using the wet glue means you can move it around a bit. So just going to pop the lid on for a moment, because what I want to do is put the ribbon around that layer, and then I'll have this layer without ribbon around it. So Seal Plus, my favourite for applying ribbon, and obviously because the pattern is not directional, I can pop it either way up. So I'm going to line up on my grid paper. I'm going to come over a little bit because I'm just aware that you may be under the picture-in-picture bit. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to line up on that line. So I'm lining up with this line there, and then I can bring it round and line it up again. Doesn't matter which line I line it up to, as long as I line it up, and then go there, like that. So that's that done. Then I'm going to, as ever, I'm going to add some Seal Plus on top of my ribbon as well, because then I get an adhesive sandwich. Oh, thank you, Mary. Glad it's enjoyable. I don't do serious. Well, I used to do serious. I had a very serious job, you know, before I decided to give up the little luxury of money and enjoy myself instead. So, yeah, when you're training people on anti-corruption and anti-financial crime or financial crime prevention, you kind of have to be serious. So let's not be serious in things that don't need to be serious is kind of my thing. Even with no colour on the nails, I know I got a bit carried away with I was doing other things. They're in the middle of being redone. But yeah, it feels a little strange actually, but thank you. Right, so I'm going to have this one there sitting on my ribbon, and I'm going to have this one just tucked behind there, also sitting on my ribbon, but this one is going to go flat onto the paper. And I'm going to use a bit of seal for the majority of it anyway. So, only because I don't want this paper to ruck. Let me bring down a silicone mat, then I can run some adhesive down its pore, and then just make sure that that's tucked in. Oop. Right. Oh no, that's not my piercing tool, that's my thingy brush. Where did I... oh, it's here. I can't see it for looking. It's right next to me, so I'm just going to make sure that I get any adhesive off the front just by dragging. And then I can take my little cheetah, pop this one there so that I can see where it's going, because we need this to be behind it. I'll just pop that so it's sitting on the ribbon, but we can't see its tail. So that's in place. And then this I'm going to put on dimensionals, and I've got a little bit of dimensional edge waiting to go. So this is just a bit of the edge of a dimensional sheet. I think it might actually be mini dimensional sheet, because you get more edge on the mini dimensional sheet, as in it's a wider bit, so I just cut it down. But it's great for things like tails, because you can curl it. We do obviously have the tape, the strips, but they are fatter. So if you're using dimensionals with dimensional edge, you need to use dimensionals. Now this is paper, so I'm going to give it a lot more dimensional than I would if it was card. So if this was stamped, I wouldn't put as many bits of dimensional on, because it would be on card rather than on paper. So I am going a little bit to town on bits of dimensional, and then I've got some half dimensionals there, and I can pop one of those just on his paw there. Right, so that's those. Let me bring in my tin, preferably without all the rubbish that was in it. So we can then... now I could cut that so it's got little bits, but hey, it's fine. It's fine. Right. So that can then go there. So we can't see that there's no tail. I've just completed 40 handmade cards for your father-in-law to send out after the recent... oh, that's sad. 64 years. Yeah, my parents were married for about that length of time. It was such a nice thing to do for him, and she loved handmade things. That's wonderful. I have to say, going through my parents' house, because I mean my mother passed away 3 years ago, and my father earlier this year, going through their house and finding things that they've kept is just amazing. So on the basis I've just got Plentiful Plants, I thought I'd use the thank you from Plentiful Plants. But yeah, it's a really sad time, you're right, Innika. It's just But if you know that she loved handmade things, it is a really nice thing to do. I'm going to be making cards for everyone who's written to us to say how sorry they were to hear that my father had passed away, or our father, because I have a brother. Yeah, that will fit just nicely. I'm going to use Francis Martin's $1 Million stamp set. Let me just find it. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one that's something like After the Storm, or I know it's on the left hand side of the page, which is why I'm flipping it this way. But I just think it's perfect for those sorts of occasion. Yeah, I thought it was there, but it's not. It's not there. Nope. I could have sworn it was nearer the back. I probably missed it. Thank you, Mary. There it is. So it's the After the Storm. So you've been on my mind. Even the darkest night will pass and the sun will shine. A little sunshine for your day, and just because. And I just think it's wonderful. I think it's just perfect for these sorts of occasions. Either if you're sending a sympathy or if you're sending a thank you for your sympathy. Right, now I had some scraps of white that I thought would be the right sort of size. Yes. Okay, so I want Evening Evergreen, because I've got my colours over here now. Oh, it is lovely, isn't it, Julie? Right, I'm just going to prep my, this is brand new, straight out of the box, so I'm just going to prep my stamp. If you've seen my videos before, it's because there's a finish put on the stamps for the manufacturing process. And I'm going to come in, and this is properly inked, I'm going to come in a little bit from the end and hopefully go straight. I don't like that side, I want this side. I will explain why I've just turned it over in a moment. Load, aim, fire. Do hold your stamp to your paper for a while to allow the ink to transfer. And I always reckon that if you say, do allow your paper, your stamp to stay on your paper for a while to allow the ink to transfer, it will have transferred. So I've got a nice crisp impression. And the reason that I've turned it over is because this just had a slightly rough edge. I've just, bearing in mind that I cut paper for classes and product shares, I have just started my third blade of the new trimmer. So what I'm going to do is just snip there, and then this is going to go just there, and we will, once it's on the card, I'll cut it off and it will be just the right size. I might just sneak it, ooh, actually I might go underneath. Yeah, I'm going to go underneath, I like that. And of course, I can't possibly do a card that has got an in colour without adding, these are all our embellishments at the moment, without adding in colour jewels. I mean, Steph is here and she is convinced that I am the reason that they went out of stock for a while, because I did order quite a lot. They were my hostess gift 2 months ago. I think you ordered in May. Yeah. So that's my excuse and I am sticking to it. Now, up or down? Shall I have it raised up or down? I think I'm going to raise it up. So I am going to grab 3 dimensionals. Now I can see from behind where the T is because I can see through the card because I've got quite bright lights. So I can pop one right at the end and then one at there and one there. Again, perfect for edges. The in-colour jewels are divine, and so I've already ordered, I have an in-colour club, and the final gift, so they're all getting a different colour each month, which is what you would expect with an in-colour club, and the final gift for staying the course is a pack of the In Colour jewels, and when they were on low inventory I stocked up, and I stocked up quite a lot, and I had enough, just enough for my customer gifts, my In Colour club, and for me to end up with 3 spare sets. Now I'm just going to cut a little bit of designer series paper, making sure that I leave this large enough that I can do other things with it, because I wouldn't want to not be able to put this on a card front. That would be a bit sad. So I'm just going to run that down across the bottom of my insert for my card, and I'm going to run it with some seal. I'm going to go all the way down, even though I don't need to go all the way along. And again, I'm lining up on the grid paper. The grid paper is great for these things. And then I can just pop that down there and scooch it up. And then we've got a nice bit of bringing the outside to the inside. And again, these are my sticky scissors, which I use almost exclusively for things with glue on them. So then I can just sort these out every once in a while. Then I can add some seal to the back of this, concentrating on the corners. So I'm going to pop this in, then I will stick the front onto the front of the card, and then we're done. After I've added some In Colour jewels, of course. Now you can stamp. I don't have these stamps because why do I want lions and leopards and cheetahs and things? I might end up getting them, you never know. One of my team has them and she does some wonderful things with them. She's nearly converted me. They're on my, if I've got some stamping rewards and I don't need any more white card, they're on my list of things to get with stamping rewards. So, however, today I placed a slightly large order. It wasn't actually as large as it could have been, because it's pre-order day. I mean, I know some of you are demonstrators, so pre-order, yay! So I placed my order for paper, ribbon, all the specialty papers, so that I can then do product shares, and I'll have everything that I can show people, because of course we can't show the inside of the catalogue. So the easiest way around that is to order what I'm going to need for the shares. And I'm putting this on upside down because it's just easier to do it that way for me because I am right-handed. So let's again line up on the grid paper, and I want to make sure that the T is on the card, and then I can pop that there. So that's where the edge of the dimensional is, and if I turn it over you can see I can't see the dimensional because it's under the T. Cut that off, and then we've just got to add some of those lovely jewels and we're done. Woohoo! If I could find the bit that's more important than this. There it is. I'm pondering now. It's getting scary big. What your order? Yeah, I have to say, so what I've done, Julie, is that because we can earn credit during celebration, I've ordered just enough to get me into the new catalogue. So no, I'm not going to put that near its tail. Sorry, there are certain things that you just don't do. So I'm going to pop this one down. Might go all the way out to there actually. Sorry, I have a very, very childlike mind. And there are certain places you do not put jewels. It's midnight in Brisbane. I wonder if I can pretend I did it in my sleep. Oh, I love that. But yes, so I have told my team, although I don't know that they'll necessarily listen to me, to save as much of their order as possible for during celebration, because then they will earn credits, even for those who are their main shopper. It just means that they may earn enough, or spend enough rather, to earn some credits. So there we are. So yes, I was quite good. Well, I say I was quite good, bearing in mind I ordered all the paper, all the ribbon, all the specialty paper, some of the newest accent pieces, so like the new dots, adhesive dots. I've managed to get all of the celebration items. I know, it's naughty. But anyway, it's what I do for a living now. I spend money. So this is our card with a little nod to from the outside inside. But yeah, made out of paper. So don't think that you have to buy the whole set or the whole bundle. I'm being a good girl. Gonna wait till August. Thank you, Steffi. Well done. Lorna's going to try as well. Thank you, Inika. I'm glad you like it. But yeah, I just think if you can wait, I mean, you know, maybe order one suite now and then wait and put your bigger orders in August and September, so that you can get stuff back. You don't have any of this suite. Well, you see, now that the paper is discounted, you could make this card just out of paper. No, the credit doesn't start now. The credit is so it's pre-earn, as in you can earn celebration items, but you don't earn the credit other than between August the 3rd and the end of September. So just be aware of that. So the naughty bit of my childlike brain says that the dot goes there, not there, and I will leave you to work out why it is more appropriate to have it there. It's just, that's the way my brain's working today. It's had a bit of a rough day. So there we are. Let me flip you back up so that I can see you. I will bring up the card as well so you can see it. I have to work out which way around it is. Yay, I've got it the right way around. So this is our little card. Very simple. Really simple. It's a sentiment and paper with a bit of ribbon. So if that's inspired you to have a go with some of these papers when they're on discount, I will have done my job. That way, that's the way. So obviously stock up if there's paper that you love, but if there's paper that you're kind of, I'm not sure, now is the time to do it. Julie's check. Do check, but I think I'm 99% positive I'm right. Certainly that's what's happened in previous celebrations. So yeah, if you can wait, do. Might order the paper. Well, there you are, you see, Mary. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for joining me. It may only have been one card, but I managed to blether on for over 3/4 of an hour. Do remember, if you've liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe, it's there. I'm hoping it's there. I see things, I don't know. It's just weird the way I see. Oh, it is. Yes, I have got it right. Sorry, there's a delay. So it's there. That is where you will find the subscribe button. So yes, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you live hopefully on Tuesday morning, 11 o'clock UK time. Otherwise it will be available on replay, and otherwise I will have another video on Saturday, because it's Simple Stamping Saturday, which will be featuring designer series paper. I will be using a lot of designer series paper this month, just to give some ideas on how easy it is to craft with pattern paper. You'd better go to bed, Mary. Absolutely. Right, thank you very much indeed. I will bring up my end screen and hope to see you again very soon. Oh, I should just say, if you're watching on the replay and you've got any questions, just leave the comment and I will pick it up and reply back to you.